Hi guys, and welcome back to another episode of Frozen Fortunes, the analysis days and whatnot. So, it's been an interesting season, and we're going to have quite a lot of analysis to actually go over for once because, well, we've played basically two squads, so we can sort of see who's maybe ready to move up, who isn't good enough and all that. But one thing I want to quickly touch on before we do that is I had some promises at the start of the season. And we had win the Superliga and challenge for Superliga title. Only one of them is completed. Does Svenningsson not want us to win the league? Is this, like, for example, when this ticks over in 40 days' time, am I going to get a news article from Jonas Svenningsson being like, you failed to complete the promise of challenging for the Super League because you won it? And if that fucking happens, I swear to God, I will be pissed because that is some nonsense right there. Hopefully that's not the case, but I don't understand why this one hasn't completed and this one has when we've won the league. So surely he should be happy. Maybe it just waits until the end of the actual league is completely done for all the relegation and promotion and stuff, and that's when it triggers. If that's the case, then totally fine. But if not, then I will be annoyed as hell, because that could end up upsetting the relationship with our best player for no reason whatsoever. Anyway, let's take a little look at the way the leagues have been going over this period. Have a little sip of my drink because my throat is sore as a bugger, as always in these situations. So, Superliga Championship Group. Let's go for the stats. So, we actually had the highest average possession in the league. Wouldn't you know it? What a turnaround from the early days of this save, even in the top flight. We've had the most average possession overall. Most of that was against Odense, where we had like 76% possession a lot of the time, but that's still very, very good. Penalties taken, Midtjylland had 13 penalties. What on earth were they doing? Like, they're just running around with a red flag. Headers won the most, not by a huge amount, but definitely the most, and the most headers won ratio. 67% of our headers have been won. We've been dominating teams in the air, and that really does please me to show you how dominant we've actually been here. Yellow cards. Not too bad, actually. 39. A lot of that's probably come from the second half of the year when we were just getting stuck into teams a little bit more. Maybe we should have done a little bit less of that because we got way too many suspensions, particularly in the fullback slots. Red cards. We did, of course, get that one red card with Pat Curtin, I believe it was. Well, he also got one in the Champions League too, which was embarrassing. Bit annoying there. The form one is totally irrelevant. Goals scored, 89 goals scored. I think last year we got 86, so we have improved on that one and scored 20 more goals than anyone else. FC Copenhagen clearly were not up there with the goal scoring this year. We've been excellent. 89 goals is great. I do think at some point in this save, we will probably smash over 100 through in the league once we get to the point of being like ridiculously dominant, which is, you feel like it's coming. Cross completion, we're up there with 17%. We're right in the top. Well, we're level at the top, and that's what I want to see. We should be completing a lot of crosses, and we are. Rogers Jr., I feel like, has had an absolutely stonking season this year. He really has had a great year. We'll take a little look at that when we come to the player analysis, though. Crosses completed overall. Not a huge amount more than FC Copenhagen, but definitely more. Goals from corners, we've scored the most. Oh, God, everything's coming up Millhouse here. We've scored 9 goals from corners this year. I don't know how many we're going to have conceded, but we'll find out, I guess. Goals from direct free kicks. None. That's always nice to see. Goals from indirect free kicks. 2. Okay, not too bad then. Pass completion. The best pass completion in the league. How is this happening? Remember when we had no pass completion and no possession? Now we're keeping the best pass completion in the league and the most possession. Next year, I want to see if we can top 80 with the pass completion, though. Passes completed. Not a huge amount more than Bromley, like 700, but, I mean, they were clearly the other passing team, which would explain why they kept so much possession in that final game of the season. Chances created, 191, still by far the best side on chances created. I want to smash 200 one of these days. Shots on target ratio, down at 43. We seem to have lost our edge on that one a little bit, but I guess it's because we're having more shots overall. It's dragging the percentage down because we are dominating sides. Long shots tend to happen. Shots on target, though, 263 shots on target. We've scored a lot more goals from shots on target than FC Copenhagen has. That is for sure. Fouls against, one of the lowest. Okay, so we're not drawing a lot of fouls, which is kind of interesting, actually. Dribbles per game. Yeah, I figured Midtjylland would be up there, purely because of Sim and Paulsen. We're probably up there purely because of Jonas Svenningsson, who now has the trait, runs with ball more often, so he's going to be even better at doing that, which is nice. Goals conceded, 28 goals conceded in 36 league games. That is very good. And I said I wanted to get it into the 20s this year, and we have. The frustration for me is that it was 23 going into the final day of the season, and we conceded 5 goddamn goals to Bromby. In easily the worst defensive display of the season. Like, we played just as well going forward as we did against them in the previous game where we won 5-1. We just couldn't seem to stop anything at the other end, which is a shame. Conceded from corners. One goal conceded from corners this year, and I think I remember which game it was as well. Conceded from direct free kicks. 1, which was the Bromby game, so that's 2 conceded from indirect free kicks, 1. So that's 3 goals from there, and now a wasp has just appeared next to me. So that's fun, isn't it? Sorry about that, guys. A wasp literally landed on my shoulder as I was recording. That's just brilliant, isn't it? Right, so yeah, 1 goal conceded from corners, free kicks and direct free kicks is only 3, and we'll see what the penalties add up to, but I think that's one area that we've very much vastly improved in this year. Team clean sheets, wow, we actually tied with Copenhagen overall for 18 clean sheets apiece, which means Samoa must have got 10 to Niang's 8. Still not bad. We'll have a look at that, though, when we come to the proper analysis, though. Fouls made, it's fairly close, isn't it, really? Tackles 1? I'm more interested in the ratios. Ooh, okay, so we could certainly improve in that area. I think if we just got a couple of better defenders, Lever is fine, but I do worry about his teammates. I think that's an area we do need to strengthen, so I might be able to pick up a couple of solid centre-backs in the summer, and really try and invest some money in that part of the squad. Maybe a couple of centre-backs, a left wing-back and a midfielder would be the areas I'm really looking for over this period. Penalties conceded. We didn't concede a single penalty all season. That is very impressive, actually. So that means from set pieces this year, we've conceded 3 goals. 1 from a corner, 1 from a direct free kick, and 1 from an indirect free kick. That is absolutely fantastic. And it pretty much has been responsible for the giant drop in goals conceded this year. That has to be pretty much it. We conceded over 10 last year, if I remember correctly. Average attendance. Or would you look at that? It's not the lowest. An average of 4,300 people came to see us last year. Bearing in mind, there's only 50,000 people live in Greenland. And we're inching this up every single year. Next year, I think we'll see a lot more attendances over 5,000 as we continue to grow. Obviously, the max we can get is 10,000. It would be nice to see a 10,000 attendance in the league one day, but I don't know if that's ever going to happen. Hopefully, though, we'll get some in the Champions League and whatnot. Average attendance by capacity. Wow, still not even the lowest. That's actually quite impressive. Stadium sellouts, obviously none for us. Highest attendance we had was the 5,600, which was against Horsens in that family fan day kind of thing. And the lowest, I believe, was one against Lyngby, where we had 3,700. That's not too bad, actually. So net transfer spend. Well, Rwanda spent 140k, which was on Johnny Iya. We actually made £5.3 million this year in transfers, despite all the transfers we made, as did FC Copenhagen, in fairness to them. Most clubs other than us and them are either okay or insecure. Hopefully, clubs automatically qualifying for the Europa League group stages, like Lyngby, for example, at some point, might just give them a little bit of extra money that they need in order to do that. Salary per annum, we're still the 6th highest salary in the league at £4.76 million. Still nowhere near that of FC Copenhagen. Sort of 4 times smaller, basically, salary-wise, and we're still dominating in the league. But think what we could do if we could get to a salary per annum of that sort of money. I do worry about their sort of financial situation, to be fair, because they've not been in the Champions League for the last couple of seasons, with us being here. So I hope that they actually do get back into it very quickly and can start getting some more money again, because I don't want our main rival falling away too much, because we do want some competition and other teams to do well in Europe. So, looking at the player detailed stats, which is always an interesting one. I don't know if we'll have as many players on this one this year, purely because, well, I mean, actually, Carl Rogers Jr., 26 games won, not bad really. Saifi 23, Surgord 23, and Keradine Chowie 23 as well. Not bad. Yellow cards. Have we got anyone up there? We might well have a few up here. No. Nice to see. Red cards. Well, Pat Curtin should be on here really, but he probably won't be, I don't suppose. Oh no, there he is with his 1. Well done, Pat. Player of the Match awards. We've not got anyone that close on this one, I don't think. Jonas Svenningsson, most with 4. That's actually quite low for us, by our normal standards anyway. Distance covered. Of course, Rogers Jr. has played the most, which makes the most sense. Per 90 minutes, though, Keradine Chowie is blowing everybody out of the water. Like, no one is even close to the amount of distance that Keradine Chowie covers per game. There's a reason why this guy is drawing interest from, like, Liverpool and players. But then Liverpool are always after our players, aren't they? Average rating, Simon Poulsen. If he played in a position that we needed, he and Pearl Nielsen would be superb for us. Bravo up there, Svenningsson up there, Rogers Jr. up there too. Ayman Zayem is on this list. That is so nice to see, it really is. Headers 1. We might have 1 or 2 players on this list. There we go. Christian Lever, right down the bottom with 210. Goals, here we go. Mariano Bravo, here we go. So this is the thing. He has got 21 goals in 19 starts and 9 appearances off the bench, whereas Christian Jensen's played 28 games from the start. So you can see that minutes per goal, Bravo, 81 minutes per goal. That is insanely good. And I now understand why hopefully he will win top scorer. Jonas Svenningsson got 16 in the league this year. Not quite the levels he was at last year, and he is scoring less in terms of the minutes on the pitch, but he's still an excellent footballer, and sometimes he has little off days. Mark Yakim as well, 13 in the league. Well done you, Marky boy. Johnny Iya, of course, who played some of those games for us, got 18 in the league this year for the big giant haystacks man. That's very, very impressive to see. So, Average minutes per goal. Bravo is obviously massively up there. Ibson in there too. Svenningsson not doing badly as well. Nobody else really comes close on that one, which is weird. Where's Mark Yakim? Shouldn't Mark Yakim be on this list as well? Minutes per goal. Didn't he get goal every, I don't know. Shots overall, Brian Ling has had a lot of shots and apparently doesn't score too many of them. Well, 17 goals, but look, Bravo's only had 83 shots and has scored a lot more of them, which is nice. Shots on target. Mariano Bravo up there with 47, but look at that. Brian Ling really does hit the target a lot, as does Johnny Iya, to be fair to him. And Christian Jensen. Svenningsson, Yakim up there too. Yakim's done very well, actually, for the number of goals he's scored, for the number of shots he's had. Very, very impressive. Maybe he's got maybe he's got a very high shots on target percentage. 56 for him, 56 for Bravo, 54 for Sveni. That's what I like to see. Although some of these lads clearly have pulled the boat out a little bit, particularly Nakachi Chetin. He really has stepped it up. 61% shots on target is very, very good, but just hasn't scored enough goals, apparently. Team goals. Rogers Jr. has been on the pitch for 77 team goals. Chowie, 71. And Svenningsson, to be fair to him, 69 compared to Bravo's 68. It's all very tight in that end of the pitch, though. Juland, Bravo, well, he scored one of the 2 penalties taken. It's because he's not been on the pitch half the time. Players with the most assists. Svenningsson still got 11 assists. Rogers Jr. got 10 assists this season. That's got to be his best year for us by a country mile. I just want to quickly take a step away and admire how well Rogers Jr. has played this year. That hip injury is going to cost us a lot from him. And you can see he's sort of reached that potential ceiling right now. But look at this. Look at the season he's had. Last year, he wasn't even that great for us. Got 4 assists and 1 man of the match. This year, 10 assists in the league. That is truly exceptionally good. Yeah, it's actually genuinely fantastic. 10 league assists for Carl Rogers Jr. He's basically doubled his output on the previous year. What a season he's had. Easily one of the best performers in that position. Fantastic stuff. Bravo up there as well, which is always nice to see. Key passes. Okay, Rogers Jr. again, 54 key passes for Bravo's 45. That's one thing. Rogers Jr. does seem to have a lot more than Chowie, but again, he has played more games. Chances created. Rogers Jr. up there again. What a player he's been for us this season. Jonas Svenningsson, 26 chances created, and Bravo with 22 isn't too bad either. Pass completion. We might have 1 or 2 on here. Yeah, Gil Tavares with his 86%, Sani Akinola with 86, Amoa 85, Zayem 85. It's really nice to have some of these players just linking the team up really nicely. Cross completion, 46%. Oh, it's Santos, 43%. He can't have made many crosses. I'm more interested really in what our wingbacks are doing in these areas. Dribbles per game, Poulsen definitely up there. Svenningsson certainly improving. I think year on year, Jonas Svenningsson dribbles more per game each year as we go along. So just looking at him, his dribbles per game stat here, we want his overall really, don't we? So in the league there, yeah, 2.29, then it goes up to 3.18, then it goes up to 4.3, 4.43, this year 4.69. I would be surprised if he's not topping 5 dribbles per game and is up there with Poulsen and Nielsen next season. That's certainly the hope anyway. Rakunda's been offside, don't really care about that. Aldo Saifi has been on the pitch for the least goals conceded. What a season he's had, genuinely. I'm really pleased with the way he's performed. Tackles per game, Lever, Rogers Jr. up there too, along with Chowie. Wow, really nice. Mistakes leading to goals. Hopefully no one on there at all. Lovely old job. Obviously Rogers Jr. will be up there for mistakes. He's played a lot and that position always encourages it. Key tackles, no one. I guess we're doing less defending, so it kind of makes sense. Key headers, no one either. Interceptions made. Lever's made the most receptions. That's interesting, because usually you'd want that player in the middle to be the one doing that. But okay, certainly worth noting. Headers 1 ratio, Lever 90%. Rogers Jr. 85, Saifi 83. Right, this is a key thing here, right? Lever is one of our centre-backs, wins 90% of his headers. Rogers Jr. and Moscutza both play at wing-back, winning a lot. Aldo Saifi is a second-string player, wins 83%. So question, where are Rocco, Rivera, Curtin? Where are they on this list? And is this why that we're sort of struggling a little bit in that position? Do we really need to get some stronger defenders? Because Lever is clearly the only one worth his salt at the moment. But we'll take a closer look at that in a minute. Conceded overall, goalkeeping, of course. Because we've got no one on here because no one played enough games. Clean sheets. Amoa got 10, Niang got 8. That's pretty good. Conceded per 90 minutes, Amoa 0.56 goals, Niang 0.95. So Amoa clearly the better goalkeeper. You can really see that there. And maybe he would have kept some of those goals out in the final game. Saves held, not really an important stat. Right, what's really important now is this comparison that we're about to do. I'm really looking forward to comparing our first team players to our second string players. This is going to be a fun one. So let's just switch over to this now. Go to squad and then try to switch all this stuff around because we're on... Oh, wow. I haven't actually looked at this screen all season, so we're already on attacker analysis from last time. So we'll go to... we want goalkeeper analysis to start with, because that's where we always like to start. And we actually have some comparisons to do for once, which is always nice. So goalkeepers, positions, blah, blah, blah. Get rid of all of this. Sided, right-sided. There we go. Don't need our left-sided goalkeepers. I had no time for them. Right. So Amoa's actually played less minutes than Niang. So we've got some real comparisons to be done. Niang is younger. Total team goals per 90 minutes. So we score more goals with Amoa in the side. We also concede less goals with Amoa in the side. So, I mean, that's all you really need to know about the quality there. But Niang, I feel like, over time, could get better. There's always that option for us. Saves tipped. He holds more saves as well. Points per game, we win more points per game. He conceded 9 goals in the net, whereas Niang conceded 19. I mean, that says a lot. We won 81% of our games with him in goal. Clean sheets, he got 10 to the 8. So where is he better? Like, better in the air. Better throwing. Punching isn't as good. His rushing is much better. Reflex is slightly better. One-on-one's a little bit better. Kicking is worse. Handling is slightly worse. Eccentricity is low. Command of area. It's only a few little things there, but I think Niang, as he grows, should definitely be able to overtake, but he's still definitely going to be the number 2 goalkeeper next year. Chris Baker is a worthwhile sort of third choice that we've got around as well. But you can look at the difference. Niang has got that driven personality, which makes me think he could actually better Amoa, but just not at the moment. And it's very evident that Amoa is a much better goalkeeper. We just concede way less goals with him in the team. And we score more goals. Not a huge amount more, but it's the goals conceded area. We're conceding nearly twice as many goals with Amoa in the team, and that is really saying something. God, it's such nice to be able to actually compare this for once and actually take a look at our goalkeepers and what they're doing about that. So Amoa definitely be the first choice starter next year. Niang definitely be our second choice starter next year. No problems with that. He'll play in all the B team games, and he'll certainly get himself at least 15-20 league appearances next year. I wouldn't be surprised, and that's good. It gives us a chance to keep developing these players. So let's quickly switch over to the wing-backs, although this one's going to be slightly more muted, I would have thought. I really do apologise if you can hear me sipping and stuff. I know it can be off-putting for some people, but I absolutely have to drink while I do this, because my throat gets absolutely ripped to shreds when we do this kind of stuff. So, players of importance. Chowie, Roger Jr., Moscuza, and Cunha. I don't really care about Simon Hansen right now, so we're just going to turn that off and turn that off. Okay, a bit annoying. If I move him to... Wait, if I'm only showing the senior squad and this guy's not in the senior squad, why is he appearing here as the senior squad? Is it because he's in the first team lineup from the last game? That's what it has to be. Oh well. We'll just ignore Simon Hansen for now. So, most minutes in this position so far. Roger Jr. obviously by far. Moscuza, Chowie have played a fair amount as well. And Andre Cunha. But Cunha still played enough minutes for me. 7 starts and 3 substitute appearances for me to base some of what, certainly on the ratio stats, to take a look at what he's been doing for us so far. So, points per game. Moscuza, interestingly there. We've won the least points with Cunha in the game. Like considerably less than everybody else. So, maybe there is something to that. Team conceded per 90 minutes. And again, Cunha, we concede more goals with him in the team. Rogers Jr., we concede the least with him in the team. He's been an absolute rock this year. Chowie and Moscuza are kind of fighting it out amongst themselves. Now, kind of key things here is, though, tackles won ratio. Cunha, 80%. Moscuza, 80%. Cunha is clearly a decent defender. He actually can make some tackles. And that's going to show, I think, over the course of a season. And honestly, his pass completion of 77% isn't bad either. It's up there with Chowie. Cunha kind of has the tackling ability of a Moscuza with the passing ability of a Keradine Chowie. He's like the best of both worlds, frankly, and that really does give me some hope for him next year. But of course, we can't ignore the fact that, we have still... I mean, I guess the points one is a little bit harder because it is spread out over a full season, but teams conceded. We've conceded more goals than him in the team. It is undeniable. Key passes per 90 minutes. Cunha, again, is up there, along with Moscuza. Rogers Jr. a little bit on the low side of that one. Interceptions, Cunha actually very high on that one too. That's interesting, actually. He's very high on interceptions. He's clearly got that ability to nip in and win the ball for us. So, headers won ratio, 76% compared to Keradine Chowie's 48%. Keradine Chowie is a short arse, and that is always going to be his problem, whereas Cunha offers us a little bit more in the air. Not as good as Rogers Jr. and Moscuza, but certainly a lot more of a presence in those positions. And if we did sign Marinus, then he would struggle in the air as well, but he would be such a good player going forward, my life. Games won percentage. So 60% with Cunha. That it was, to be fair, most of the games he's played, I believe, were all in the championship group, so a harder class of opposition overall. So that might be contributory to the way that that's come about. Dribbles per game. He does dribble more than any of the others too. His cross completion is better than any of the others at 19%, which is very, very good. He's created 8 chances. That's actually incredibly good. He's created 8 chances in 642 minutes, whereas Keradine Chowie only created 8 chances in like nearly 3 times that amount. Cunha looks like he could be an absolute worldie next season. I genuinely wonder if we could start him in the games ahead of Keradine Chowie, to be honest. You might even get pushed down the pecking order at this rate, Keradine, if you don't get your act together. Genuinely. That's what I'm looking at this point. Just look at his creative ability. Assists per 90 minutes. Cunha, again, higher than all the others. Average rating, not really relevant for this point. He's made a fair number of mistakes, but I don't know. I'm starting to feel like there might be something there for him. That's interesting, actually. So I think next year, Rogers Jr. will not be starting the season because he won't be fit. So we're going to have to sign a player to play on that left-hand side. And Rogers Jr., as a result, might fall down the pecking order. And you know, that's life. Next season, however, I think Andre Cunha might start ahead of Keradine Chowie. Chowie will obviously still be playing because we have our B team in the league, but he might be dropped into that B team for a bit. Have to get himself some football there instead. I don't know. I'm just thinking about this. Cunha really does seem to have stepped, and he's 4 years younger than Keradine Chowie too. He really could be the next big thing in that position for us. Moscoso will fall down the pecking order even more and will be more of a rotation option. I'd like to think that we could move him on in the summer, maybe get a mil and a half for him, because I know that Mulder and Rauschenborg are interested. So that's his potential suitors, so to speak, and I might be tempted to move him on and just bring in another youngster to play backup, rather than having a 22-year-old who clearly wants to be playing football in that position. Just sign one of the guys from my transfer list that want to play in that role, and we have a third choice then, and they'll certainly get game time this year, because these guys do get injured. It's just one of the facts of life, really. So that's kind of what I'm looking at for the wingbacks. Right, let's move on to the, what's the next position? Centre-backs. Everyone loves a good centre-back. Right, so filters we want off of that, we want onto that, we want to get rid of these, and onto that. Let's just check on minutes here, see if any of these others show up that... right, we don't want any of those. That's mostly all players from the youth intake and Thomas Vasek, and that gets rid of Vasek again. Okay, so... centre-backs. This year we've played a fair few of them, and all of them, I believe, are capable of being criticised. Now, we have to bear in mind that Milandowicz would have played all his games in the Championship group for the most part, so he would have been playing a higher standard of opposition overall. So if he slips a little bit, it's not the end of the world for me. Safi has played the most minutes, Laver up there, Curtin, Rivera, Milandowicz, and Rocco. So, Tome conceded per 90 minutes. Who's conceded the most? Yeah, Milandowicz. That stands to reason. Aldo Safi has been superb, isn't he? Pat, Curtin... and interesting, actually, Safi really has been unbelievable this year. He's the oldest of the bunch, and I guess his experience is truly showing. Malwarebytes has wanted me to update it, so that's always nice. That's actually very impressive. So tackles per 90 minutes, Milandowicz does win more tackles. That's good to see. Safi doesn't win a lot of them either, but then maybe he doesn't have to. Tackles won ratio is more important. Milandowicz, 91%. That's fantastic. The rest of them are all over a certain area, except Pat Curtin, who is 78%. And he does have a bit of a, not a temper problem, but his aggression, I don't know. He does seem to struggle and does get booked and stuff more than the other players. So that might be an area to look at when deciding who's going to be our first choice. It's going to be Christian Laver, that's for sure. I want to play Nkosi Milandowicz in the middle, because that allows us to switch to the frozen hug of death tactic and push him straight up into midfield. And that, again, could affect some of these stats, because he would have played some of these games in midfield as well. But I want that versatility of having him there. It's really the left-sided defender, the right-sided defender is the one slot that's still up for the grabs for me. And I don't know if any of Rocco, Rivera, Safi, or Curtin are actually genuinely capable of filling that role. I do wonder if maybe it's going to have to be an outside force that comes in. For the first team, anyway. I think these guys are good enough for playing in the league. But I just think in the Champions League, we need that little bit higher level. Maybe that Slovakian guy could come in and really do a job for us in that role. I don't know. Just a thought. Points per game. Safi, the most, but then that sort of kind of goes with the team conceded one. Passing, let's see who's best on the ball. Milandowicz was 79% as well. He's a good ball player, but again, played in the midfield a fair amount, so we can kind of take that with what you will. But as long as they're above 70, around this sort of area, I'm not too bothered. Mistakes, I wish there was a mistakes per game. That's kind of what really does bother me. Milandowicz's mistake leading to a goal, well, we all know what that one was. The final day of the season against Bromby with that horrific back pass. These ones, right, key passes per 90 minutes. Milandowicz high, Laver high. Rocco might be the one that slips into that role over on the right-hand side, because we do like our defenders to do a little bit of that. Interceptions per 90 minutes, Laver up there, Rocco, Milandowicz. It's seeing a lot of Laver, Rocco, Milandowicz kind of trios appearing in here. Headers 1. Wow. So Laver, 91. Great. Milandowicz, 80. Could improve if he's not playing in midfield. But look at this. Curtin, 75. Not good enough for a central defender. Rocco and Rivera, though. Look at that. 69 and 67% defensive headers won. That is shocking. That really is really, really bad for those two. We need these guys to be up in the low 80s, really. And they are a lot lower than that. And I think that's cost us time and time again this year. I just think that, wow. I mean, Pat Curtin maybe to start there. I really don't know. I genuinely think we need to sign another centre-back to keep up with the likes of Lever and Milandowicz, at least. And Safi, frankly, has performed much better as well. At least he wins stuff in the air. He'll do for now. He'll definitely get bumped up to first team, but that's definitely something to look into in the summer. Definitely worth taking a note of that one. Headers won per 90 minutes. Lever, look at that, 10 headers won. Rivera wins nothing in the air at all. Games won ratio, Rocco pretty low on that one. Rivera, and, well, it's hard to tell with that one because of the games they've played in. But overall, I mean, look at the values as well. Lever up there, Safi up there with the resolute personality. Pat Curtin's resolute. Rocco's fairly professional. Rivera's resolute. Landowitz is fairly professional. We've got a good squad of players and professional players there, but looking at this from what I'm seeing, my lineup for the defense, for the starting for like the first string games is Lever on the left, Milandowicz in the middle, and worst comes to worst, Safi or Curtin on the right-hand side, although it might depend on the foot. But I really think that we need to splash some cash and get ourselves a solid central defender with a little bit of room to grow as well, but someone that can slot into this squad now, like a 3 or 4 star player potentially, to get right into this team at this point, because I think we kind of need that right now, even if we have to drop £1 million on the player and break our transfer record. And I feel like we will do this summer anyway. But that's kind of my thoughts on the centre-back. So let's move on to the midfield. I need to make sure we actually switch over to the midfield analysis. Oh, for goodness sake. Oh, for good... I hate those menus sometimes. They're so fiddly. Right. Midfielder analysis. That's what we want here, isn't it? We've done midfielders, goalkeepers. Right. Okay, so midfielders that have played this year. Søgaard, Zaem, Shishi, Tavares, Santos, Akinola, and Antti Johansson has played enough, but we'll be a bit lenient on him because of the amount of time. These guys have all played enough, though, for me to make a difference on this one. Assists per 90 minutes. Johansson, okay, fair enough. Santos, decent. Akinola, decent. Now, of course, we've got to compare apples and... We're comparing apples and oranges a little bit. At some point, if I find time, I might switch around the analysis templates so that we've got one for the central midfielders and one for the attacking midfielders, because after all, we kind of want different things out of different players in these roles. Assists, at least they're all getting them, that's for sure. Now obviously the push further forward players, I want to have more assists per 90 minutes. So Johansson, good. Santos, Akinola, good. Those are the ones I want. Shishi, Søgaard, Tavares, and Zaem should have less, and they do, and that's fine. Although I'd like to see a little bit more of Tavares. I don't know. Then again, he is a playmaker, I suppose. So there is that as an option as well. Chances created per 90 minutes. Again, I'd like those. Søgaard actually not too bad. Santos really does love a chance creation, that's for sure. Look at that. That actually does show he has some real potential in this team. I'm tempted, in the summer, if I can, just to try and agree another loan spell with him from Bayern Munich. If we're going to get him for free, we might as well have a free player for a year if they're not going to play him. It just adds depth to us, and he clearly does have qualities, even if he isn't our player, and they just seem to keep letting me have him. So I might try that again. I might even try to go him on a 2-year if we can, because why the hell not? For a free player of decent quality, you can't really go wrong with that. Dribbles per game. Antti Johansson's up there. He does love a bit of a dribble, doesn't he? I'm not sure what his actual dribbling stat is like. Don't think we can really see it on this one. No. But hey, maybe it's high. Oh, we can just hover over this, Matt, you idiot. Dribbling, 10. Okay, it's not too bad, to be fair. Games won percentage. Tavares, that's very, very high. My lord. He's played a decent number of games. 17 starts he's made. All of those would have been in the league, but still, that's pretty impressive. Søgaard up there too. Santos, not too bad. Akinola, very, very low. But this does take into account Champions League games, doesn't it? So he's actually only started 14 games. This does take into account Champions League games, right? Oh, well, that's useful. I wish you could filter it like that. Why? Why can you not filter it by competition? It makes no sense to me. I'm sure there's a way you can do it. And if there is a way that you can just have a filter to just change the competition, then let me know, because that would be so useful. And it doesn't seem like it'd be a difficult thing to implement. But there you go. Headers won ratio for the midfielders. Søgaard, that's nice. I'm pretty pleased with the way that Peter Søgaard's developing. 3-star player at the moment. All of his physicals are in the blues. Apparently he's declined. Don't ask me how that works. Considerable decline in his determination. Okay, apparently that doesn't look true to me, but whatever. He's going to be so good one day. I'm really pleased. He's a squad player at the moment, but there's so much potential in this guy. He's still only 18 years old. Good in the air, which is nice. Santos, Akinola, and Johansson, none of them are good in the air. Are they diminutive, or are they just not particularly 5'11"? Akinola is what? 5'7". All right, fair enough. That makes sense. And Santos is 5'7". So it makes sense that Johansson would have won more headers, but I don't know. Maybe that's not the be-all and end-all of that position. Not really what you want from them. Headers won. Interceptions, more for the central midfielders is important here. Søgaard's a little bit on the low side for that one. Then again, he does play as a box-to-box when he plays, so it's a different kind of role to what Xixi does. So there is that. Key passes per 90 minutes. Santos, far and away the above. Akinola down there too, and Johansson a little bit lower. Santos really does love an assist and a pass and a chance creation. That's what I would say. When he's in the squad, we do seem to create more chances. So that might explain why some of our league form was very good early on before there was injuries and whatnot. So I don't know. Maybe there's an option there. Pass completion, everybody is fairly solid. Everyone's above 80 and Akinola's up as high as 87%, which is very, very nice. And I'm pleased with his performances so far. Points per game, everyone seems to be within a decent blanket as well. Tavares and Søgaard right up there too, which is nice. Tackles won ratio, not really super important, but it would be nice if Santos wasn't as low as that. That's a little bit on the low side. Team conceded per 90 minutes. Again, it's more about the... Well, we conceded a lot more with Johansson, but again, he's played against higher quality opposition, so you've got to kind of take that into account. So values-wise, wow, Santos is worth a lot of money. Akinola's worth a decent amount of money too. We've actually got some solid money on some of these players. Even the likes of Gil Tavares. Bear in mind, this guy cost us, what, 60k or something? 40k. He cost us £40,000 and he's worth 250, well, nearly 250k right now. If a chance came along to move him on, I wouldn't be totally opposed to it if we were able to bring in someone else as well. And I feel like in the summer, we're going to bring through a few more of these guys that are going to get some game time. With the amount of midfielders we have and the fact that we get to play two different squads, it's going to give a lot of chance to develop players over the next few seasons. It's great. The league is basically acting like an incubator for us at the moment, and giving these young players a real chance to shine in amongst some slightly more experienced heads, and it is making a hell of a difference. We basically won the league last year using our B team. Certainly for the most part, until we got out of the Champions League, it was almost B team every single game for the most part. So I'm pleased with that. Starting lineups next year, obviously, you know, it's always going to be Akinola, Zayem, and at the moment Xixi. However, if we do find someone amazing in the summer, Shishi's spot might get knocked down the pecking order. I don't know. Or if Peter Søgaard starts to get better and better to the point where he overtakes Xixi, there's always that as an option as well. My voice is starting to go a bit funny as well. So there's definitely that, and obviously Milandowicz, but I am going to look to sign a defensive midfielder at some point in the summer, just so that we've got one there that can actually play that role as a sort of professional situation. Milandowicz is a sort of covering player, but I'd rather have someone who's really fluid and competent in that role to get the best out of it when we actually play with that frozen hug of death, because we will use that from time to time. It does definitely work. So that's definitely what we're looking at the moment. No real conclusions to be drawn from this one for me at the moment. The players in the positions they are, I think, are as good as they are, basically. I think Søgaard will still be a B team player next year, but he might get a few more appearances in the first team, certainly off the bench and whatnot in the Champions League, because he's only going to get better. And him playing 25 league games or 25 games next season again, or 30, is going to make a huge difference for his development in the long run. I can't believe my voice is starting to go here. So we're going to move over to attackers before my voice completely drops out and then I have to stop in the middle of the video. Nobody wants that, really, do they? So attacker analysis. We've got a few of these guys to take a look at too. So attackers. We've got Svenningsson, Bravo, Akinola irrelevant, Kuja, and Jakim Fagner. Oh god, I wish these guys wouldn't show up. I really find it annoying that these guys show up in these bloody filters. I wish you could just hide a player from the filter temporarily. That'd be another nice feature to see for FM19. Just hide players from these filters for a little bit. So, attacker analysis, team conceded. These ones aren't really that important. Shots on target. Here we go. Fagner. 68% of Fagner's shots have been on target. That is insane. If this guy could just stay fit for more than 5 minutes, we could have had a really good season out of him with 68%. Jakim 57, Bravo 57, Svenningsson 54. This is an issue. Mehdi Kuja down at 46. He's not hit the target enough, really, for my liking. Is there anyone I'm missing here, just while we're at it? No. No. Okay, fine. So Kuja is sort of, he should be our third best striker, really. Him and Jakim should be leading the line for us. Fagner should be the 5th best at the moment. But based on this, that's not true whatsoever. But, you know, we'll give him more time, of course. He's not played enough for me to fully judge him just yet. Shots on target per 90 minutes. So he actually does hit the target overall more by virtue of shooting more, I'm guessing. He's one of those players that loves a shot. Points per game, Fagner, again, he's done so well. Passes completed. Akinola, Ersan, Fagner with 81, Yakim 79, Kuja 79, Sveningsson 79, Bravo 79. They're all in a really good place. Fagner is the best, but only marginally. Ersan really does love a pass, but he has only made one appearance for us, where he played the full 90 minutes this season, and I guess he played well in that game. Didn't score, I don't believe, but he is off in the summer, and that will save 3k on the wage bill too, which we can put into someone else's contract. He's been a good servant to us in that one season, and he's still got the most goals ever in one season with 42 in all competitions, and someone will beat that eventually, but Ersan still holds that record, which is very impressive considering he's only ever had one good season for us. Key passes per 90 minutes. Bravo and Sveningsson up there. I guess that makes sense. Headers 1, right. Sogord, who's the highest on this one? Kuja with 59, Yakim 47, Sveningsson's 46, Fagner's 38, and Bravo 38. Fagner should be winning more headers because he's taller. But really, our strikers are not particularly competent in the air, it would appear. No one's a Johnny Ear, but Fagner, he's like 6'2", isn't he? Yeah. Really should be doing better in the air than 38% headers won. Maybe his strength's a little bit low. I don't know. He definitely has some weaknesses to his game. He scored a lot of goals. Like, it's undeniable that he's got goals in his game. We'll take a look at that in a minute, actually. I'll be very interested to see. Goals per 90 minutes. Yeah, look at this, Fagner. 1.2 goals per 90 minutes. He actually has the best ratio on that one of any player in our entire squad, even better than Mariano Bravo. And, of course, the lowest on that one is Mehdi Kuja of any strikers. It's quite considerably low. Well, it's definitely lower. It's undeniable. Dribbles per game, Sveningsson, miles higher. But Kuja definitely has that as an option in his game too. He's a better dribbler both than Yakim and certainly better than Mariano Bravo. Still miles away from Sveningsson, who's dribbling. What is Sveningsson's dribbling ability? He's only got, actually it's 15 dribbling. It's pretty damn high. I feel like that could get even higher in the coming season. He's still only 19. That's the thing about Jonas Sveningsson. The fact that he's still only 19. He's played 116 games for B67 in the league, and he's still a teenager at the moment. That is astonishing. 66 goals, and he's not even out of his teens yet. He's probably still got acne scars at this point. That is insane. 5 caps for Denmark and a goal already at the age of 19 is mental. It really, really is. My scouts seem to constantly decide whether Bravo is the same or better than Sveningsson. It seems to flip over from like week to week. So that's interesting. Distance, right, crosses completed. Sveningsson should be fairly high on this one, I would have thought. Actually, no, he's not. In fact, Bravo's higher. That's interesting. Sveningsson gets a lot of assists, but maybe a lot of them don't count as crosses. I don't know. Maybe he just puts a lot of crosses in. Minutes per goal. Here we go. So, yeah, Fagner, 75 minutes per goal. That is mental. How many goals did Fagner actually score for us this season? I don't know if I can see. So, he in total got 13 goals in 12 games. Now, does that take into account... Yeah, okay, that's taken into account the UEFA Youth League, so we'll ignore that for now. But still, 11 goals this season, 4 in the Champions League in one start. He's only started one game and he's got 4 goals in the Champions League, and he got 7 in 7 starts in the league as well. If he could just stay fit, is he injury prone? No. I don't know. I don't know what it is. I don't know why Fagner can't seem to stay fit, but I really hope that he can do that. While we're here, we're going to trigger the 3-year contract extension clause for Fagner, since that's available to us, apparently. I just noticed that he had a contract up in a year, and I figured there's a reason why I did that low contract, and it's obviously so he could extend it, get him another 3 years on the deal, because I think he could definitely have something to say for us later down the line. It's just these injuries do keep hampering his development. I do kind of feel like maybe the injuries could be the death of his career. If he gets one more serious injury, it could really hamper his development right at a key time when he's 19 years old. So that would kind of suck for him, really. Assists overall, Sveningsson, 11, Bravo 8. Yakim's got 4, that ain't bad. Fagner has 2, which isn't bad either, really. Assists per 90 minutes. Sveningsson, yeah, with the most, so that's fine. Fagner's not too bad on that one either. Kuja, again, fairly low. So, next season. Strikers, obviously, that position fills itself. Sveningsson, Bravo. Those two are the man, or the men, rather. Any money that we'd have to spend to bring in a better striker than these two right now would cost us at least 10 million. Because when that's the kind of prices that these two would sell for. We could maybe ship someone for 6 or 7 million, but that's not a position I feel like we need to strengthen right now. Sveningsson and Bravo are clearly still operating at the top of their ability. I've not seen a total talent ceiling out of Bravo. It changes from week to week. And Svenningsson, we definitely haven't seen the end of his potential yet. So I don't think we need to strengthen in that area. Yakim is a perfect replacement on the bench. Kuja does a decent job in there too. Fagner's an option. Obviously, I'll probably still pick up a couple of youngsters as well, sort of your 16-year-olds, to really give us sort of depth in sort of your 7th and 8th choice. They might go out on loan. They might sort of float around the squad to give us a bit more depth. But that's kind of all I think we really need to do in terms of striking options. So, just going through a sort of checklist in my head. Goalkeepers, we're fine with that right now. Centre-backs, I want to sign one first-team quality centre-back, and a couple maybe youngsters, I don't know. Left-back, I definitely need to sign a first-team quality left wing-back to replace Carl Rogers Jr. and provide backup as well. In the middle, I wouldn't mind trying to sign another player that can potentially go in ahead of Juan Shishi, or maybe put Surgård in there and have another guy for the B-team squad. I feel like there's a gap there that we could definitely exploit and bring in someone quality in the midfield, but only if the deal is right. I might have a look around the free transfers and whatnot. So those are kind of my main areas of the team. Centre-back, left wing-back, central midfielder, and the rest I'll just look to pick up young talent if I can find any, basically. We pick them up on good deals, we'll bring them in, get them out on loan to other Danish clubs. That's generally the way that my modus operandi operates. So, oh god, this has been a long one, plus with the break for the Wasp. If you have enjoyed this little analysis video, take a little look at the way things have gone. Of course, give me your thoughts in the comments. I might not always listen to them, but that doesn't mean I haven't read them. I just might not agree. There you go. That's how football works. That's how brains work. So if you have enjoyed this and you do want me to keep doing them, do drop a like on the video. That would be awesome. And the word of the day is... Ooh, what is the word of the day? The word of the day is leather. Yes, leather. I saw a belt hanging on the side there, so we're going to go with leather as the word of the day. Drop that in the comments to disturb people in future when they don't really watch the whole video. So, yeah, if you liked it, drop a like. That's dope. And, of course, write leather in the comments. And subscribe if you're new. And I'll join you guys in the next episode, which will be the transfer window. Hopefully we've made some good signings. I think later tonight you might also see the... looking around the leagues. I have no idea how long that video is going to be, or if my throat will hold up in order for me to be able to record it, but that's definitely coming up as well, so stay tuned for that. I'll see you guys soon. Thank you so much for watching. Bye-bye.